Great day, kings and queens. Yeah. Welcome to another conversation with Drew. This is a magnificent Monday where it's truly a pleasure to be able to share this gift with you guys. It's truly humbling and honoring to be able to share the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I've gained through my own personal experiences and the experiences of others, and through studying that's causing me to become the best version of myself, in hopes that what I share with you, kings and queens, this morning will stretch you and cause you to become the best version of yourself. Again, this is a magnificent Monday, man, and I thank everybody who's tuning in. Make sure that y'all hit the share button at the bottom so we can get as many minds on here, and as much energy on here as possible, so that we can truly begin to grow, man, as a unit, as a city, as a town, as a nation, as a country, as a community. We have so much, man, inside of us, man, and that's why I wanted to tap into this morning. The future is in you. Man, let me go ahead and just, start off by sharing why I titled this "The Future is in You." One thing that I noticed, that society teaches us as we grow in life, is that, and as we evolve in life, one thing that I learned about what society teaches that's flawed is that society teaches us that, when things are going wrong in our lives, when things don't seem to be right in our lives, when things aren't where we desire them to be, that we are to change the things around us. So if you're not happy with life, for example, then you get you another car. If you're not happy in life, you look at your house and say that your house is not big enough, or your house is not new enough, and so you get yourself a new home. If you're not happy in life, you look at your spouse and you say that you've been with me for 20 years. And I'm not happy any longer. I'm going to go ahead and get me another spouse. We look at our children and say, hey, kids, I'm not happy with your results. I'm going to trade you for some more kids, but the reality of it is that's how we've been conditioned and trained to think. That when circumstances and situations around us aren't making us happy, that we trade them out for new ones, and that we remove them because those are the problems, those are the issues, and so we remove them, so that we can have a better and happier and joy-filled life. But the reality of it is that when I went through my own personal mental and spiritual transformation, what I learned is that when you change the things that are inside of you, inevitably, undeniably, the things that are around you will also change. Let me say that again. When you change to change the things that are on the inside of you, kings and queens, when you change the things that are going on inside of you, naturally and inevitably, the things around you will change. And it's so amazing as I began to educate myself and I began to enlighten myself and I began to change my mind, how life began to change. There's a law that says, as a man think in his heart, so is he, or what you think about, you bring about, and it's so amazing when you understand how powerful that law is because when you recognize that you are the issue, or you are the problem, or you are why your circumstances and situation is what they are, you began to cultivate yourself. You begin to change you. Instead of trying to change the things that are around you, you begin to change you. And inevitably, from your friends to your children, to your home, to the circumstances, your job, whatever the case may be, those things begin to shift and change accordingly. And it's so amazing. And why I say that and why I mention that is because this is how we've been taught to look at our future. This is how we've been taught to search for our future. This is how we've been trained and conditioned to seek our future. Because we think that if we look around us in a person, or if we look around us in a job or career, or we look around us in a relationship, if we look around us, then we'll find our future. But that's not the truth, right? So for instance, if I had a seed in my hand, if I had an apple seed in my hand, right? We will know inevitably and invariably inside of that seed is a tree, right? And that tree will naturally produce fruit, and that fruit will produce seeds, and those seeds will produce trees, and trees will produce more fruit and seeds, and so forth and so on, right? And so really in my hand, I will have an orchard, right? This is what's so powerful, because the future of that seed is not outside of it. The future of that seed is on the inside. And there is a law out there that says that that a seed of a thing is inside of itself, or in other words, the future of a thing is inside of itself. See, the Creator, the Most High, great morning, Queen, the Creator, the Most High, right? He knew exactly where to put your future. See, we've been conditioned and trained to look outside of things to find things. We've been conditioned and trained to look outside of ourselves to find things. But the reality of it is that the Creator was so smart, right? He was so smart to know that where should I put their future? Why would I put their future 10,000 miles away? Why would I put their future in another person that may choose because of free will not to come in their lives? Why would I put their future inside of a job or in a career where the CEO can make a decision to let off some employees and you can be one of them? Why would I put their future outside of them? I can put their future where I know that they can't miss it, and I put it on the inside of you. So your future is not ahead of you. Your future is inside of you. Let me say that one more time, because I know that sounds good coming out of my mouth. Your future, kings and queens, is not ahead of you. Your future is inside of you. You can't miss it. So when you are looking for life and career and how much money you're making and a salary and what kind of car you're driving and what your economical status is and blah, 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 the reality of it is that you'll never find your future in those things. Your future is inside of you. You were created inherently with the gift. You were created inherently with power and authority. You were created inherently with a purpose. And see, when you understand this, man, it changes your life forever. People wonder why I do so many videos on purpose, why I do so many videos on gifts, because once you recognize that, it solves all your problems. Once you recognize that, it answers all your questions. And I know you have so many questions on who am I? Why am I here? What can I do? You know what I mean? Like, where is my destiny? Where am I from? Those are the 5 most important questions that all human beings are trying to figure out and answer. But the reality of it is that when you start discovering your purpose and you tap into your reason, your original intent, your reason for existence, life begins to answer itself. And I had to find that out for myself, because I could not, for the life of me, figure out why things were going on in the world the way that they were. I could not, for the life of me, figure out why I had to grow up in the hood. I could not, for the life of me, figure out why I had to experience obesity for 25 years and that caused me at the age of 13 to have, teen suicidal thoughts. I could not, for the life of me, figure out why I grew up without a father. I could not, for the life of me, figure out these things. And so what happened was, I had to sit my butt down and began to ask real questions. I began to speak to the atmosphere of the universe. I began to speak to the Creator, the Most High. Why am I here? And so once I began to ask these questions, that the law says that to everyone who asks shall receive. And so when I began to ask these questions, it began to just reveal itself to me and bring so much clarity to my life. And so this is why you have to understand your importance, because every single thing in this earth, kings and queens, let me tell you this, every single thing in this earth was created for a purpose. There is not a thing in the earth that was naturally created, that was organically created, that does not have a purpose. You say, Drew, but what about them daggone roaches? The roaches serve a purpose. Roaches serve a purpose. You say, Drew, I hate when the summertime come around because the mosquitoes be tearing my butt up. Mosquitoes serve a purpose. Every single thing serves a purpose. And it's so amazing when you tap into the truth of life, and you tap into the truth of who you are, and when you tap into the truth of the Creator, the Most High God, when you tap into the truth, you begin to see how everything serves a purpose. It's like, for instance, right? Like a plant, right? This is what's so amazing. This is how special that you are. And I need people to understand this, because kings and queens, if you do not understand the value of you, you will continue to decrease in your value and in your standards and in your expectation. Let me just say this. If you want to make more money in life, you don't work harder. You make yourself a person of value. We'll come back to that later. I had to drop that jewel on you. Appreciate you, kings and queens, for staying tuned. Check this out, right? Think about the plan. This is what's so amazing about life. When I say that everything was created for a purpose, right? By the author that gave it authorization to be great, right? Check this out. The plant, right? The plant naturally receives carbon dioxide. This is how it functions. It receives carbon dioxide, right? And it naturally and organically emits oxygen. Let me say that again. The plant, it receives carbon dioxide and it organically emits oxygen. Now, nobody on this earth, no man, boy, woman, girl, child, nobody in the earth gave that its authority. Nobody in the earth said either you give carbon dioxide or not. Nobody in the earth did that, right? Nobody has that power. Nobody has that authorization. It was created inherently with that authority to receive carbon dioxide and to give off oxygen. Stay tuned with me, kings and queens. I'm going somewhere with this. This is what's so powerful, right? The human body, the human, you know what I mean? The spirit that's inside the dirt suit, the human body, the flesh part, right? The flesh was created innately, right? Organically, right? Intrinsically, right? To receive oxygen. And with the lungs that we were created and we have, there is an exchange mechanism that goes on inside of our lungs, and we then give off carbon dioxide. Let me say that again. The plant was created naturally with a purpose to receive carbon dioxide and to give off oxygen. The human body was created to receive that oxygen and then in return give off carbon dioxide. The reason why I'm touching on this is because it's 2 points to this. You need to know that that plant was created for you, right? And the way that plant works is it works by the gamma rays that come from the sun that creates the photosynthesis process. This is what's so powerful. When you look at all of these things in life, all of the miraculous things that happen from how the air is created, how wind is created by air, how the sun gives off gamma rays, how the water supports you, how all of these different things work, right? They were created for you. All of these amazing things that go on from the sun, the moons, and the stars that's up in the firmament, and how the water is transmitted through heat, that creates mist, that creates rain, and all of these different things, all of these different amazing components that we've seen from the beautiful flowers that's out here, that attract different insects, that's drawn to the color, that creates pollination, that creates, a third of the agriculture that we have. All of these different things that take place was created for you. And if this beautiful plant that was created to receive carbon dioxide, to give off and emit oxygen for you so that you may breathe and receive oxygen, so that you may then exchange and give carbon dioxide, if that was created with all of its magnificence, without a single touch and opinion of a man, and it was created for you, how much more valuable are you than something that is here today and gone tomorrow? That's what's so powerful about you. But then I look at the relationship between the plant and man, and how it receives carbon dioxide and gives off oxygen so that we may receive oxygen and give off carbon dioxide. When I look at the beauty in that, all I can think about is how we were created with a purpose and with the gift that is supposed to be given to you and to me. My gift was created for you. It was created to give my Father glory, but it was created to do something in you. And your purpose, your gift was created to get back to us. See, when we get outside of race, when we get outside of ethnicity, when we get outside of economical status, when we get outside of how long or how short your hair is, when we get outside of out of cosmetics, when we get outside of all of these different things that means absolutely nothing, you'll see that I was born for a purpose, and I have a gift inside of me that is inherently designed to empower you so that you can become the greatest version of you, and in return give me something that I'm lacking. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful when you understand that your future is literally not ahead of you, but that your future is inside of you. It's amazing when I begin to discover this, kings and queens. When I begin to learn these things, kings and queens, I begin to recognize how powerful and how beautiful life is. We look at life and we think that it's so hard. We look at life and we're struggling, and we look at life and we're doing just enough to exist. But in all actuality, if that plant was created to receive carbon dioxide, and then it was created to emit oxygen for you to breathe. For you to breathe. Think about it. All of this was already established before you came here. So all of these things were created to serve you. The sun, how it gives off vitamin D. The sun, how it creates photosynthesis. The sun, how it provides heat. The sun, how it causes the air to thin, to then rise so that it can create wind. The sun and all its magnificent to give light to the day. The moon to give light to the night. All of these things were created for you. So you look at that, right? And you say that, well, that sun has a purpose. You say, well, that moon and those stars have a purpose. You say, well, the air has a purpose. You say, well, the water, it has purpose. You say, well, the fish and the birds and the cattle, all of these different things serve a purpose. You think about how we use cattle, how we use it, how we've used it, you know what I mean, to create food, beef, how we use it to create shoes and leather and coats and so many different things. It was created for a purpose. How do you, the apex of creation, not recognize that you have a purpose? And in that purpose is your inherent authority. Why do I keep talking about authority? Because you talk to me. You tell me if you like people to boss you around and tell you what to do. You talk to me, kings and queens. Do you like people to boss you around and tell you what to do? You only do it on your job is so that you can collect a check. That is it. The reality of it is that innately and intrinsically, you hate to be told what to do. Come on, man. I'm not the only one. You hate to be told what to do. Why? Because you were created to have dominance in your area of gifting. You were created to dominate. That's why we love Michael Jordan to this day. Because Michael Jordan dominated the domain in the area of basketball. That's why we love him to this day, because he dominated. That's why we love people like Michael Jackson to this day, because he dominated the area and the domain with his gift of music in the entertainment industry. That's why we love him to this day. A man that's gone on and passed away years ago. That's why we love people, like Mike Tyson, who dominated, or Muhammad Ali, who dominated, or your favorite entertainer, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, people who have dominated, Meryl Streep, people who have dominated in their area of gifting. Because that's what they were organically created to do. They were created with a gift and a purpose to dominate in their area of gifting. And so you have the same purpose on your life, kings and queens. You literally have the same call and vocation on your life, kings and queens, to dominate. That's why it is so uncomfortable to be on a job being underpaid, to be on a job being underappreciated, to be on a job where you're being undervalued. You know it like I know it. I'm not making this up. I'll stop talking if I'm not telling the truth. You know it like I know it. You know that you are under a supervisor, under a VP, under an SVP that does not have inherently or is not practicing inherently, naturally what is put in them. They just was blessed with a job because they knew somebody who knew somebody. But they are not operating in a power and authority that you know resides in you. And that's why it's so uncomfortable. That's why it is so uncomfortable, because you were born with inherent authority to do what I'm doing. I'm just doing it in my area of gifting. I will be marked as one of the greatest speakers of all time, one of the greatest leaders of all time. Why? Because I know that I was created with the spirit of leadership inside of me. I was created with the leadership spirit. It was put in me before I was placed in a human body. It was placed in me before I was placed in the earth. You have to understand that whatever the Most High calls for, he provides for. So what he is asking of you to do, you were already created with it. You never seen the Apple company ask their iPhones to text and it can't text. You never seen the Apple company ask their iPhones to receive phone calls and it can't receive phone calls. You never seen the Mercedes or the Buick or the Toyota, manufacturer ask their car to drive and it does not have the ability to do so. Whatever it was purposed to do, it has the ability to do it. Now, if I took my car and I set it in a garage and it just sat there for years, it's not the product's fault. It's my fault that I didn't use it for what it was purposed for. Therefore, it's your fault that you aren't where you desire to be. It's your fault that you are experiencing situations that you don't desire to be in. It's your fault because you are not living out your God-given purpose. You're the greatest product in the earth. There's nothing that was created to stop you. I don't care what divorce you're going through. I don't care what obesity that you're facing. I don't care what rape and molestation you experienced. I don't care the heartbreak that you just gone through. I don't care the depression you believe that you're in or the loneliness that you're dealing with. What I do know and what I do care about is that you were created for a purpose. You were created with an original intent. You were created with the end in mind. For I know the plans or the thoughts that I think toward you, to bring you where? To an expected end. How can I expect something if I didn't purpose something? If I didn't predestine something? If I didn't preordain something? You have so much greatness inside of you, and that's exactly where it is. So you have to stop looking outside for a career. You have to stop looking outside for a better job. You have to stop looking outside for a better companion. You have to stop looking outside for a better circumstance or a better situation. What you have to recognize, kings and queens, is that your future is inside of you. I've never ever seen a seed go take a growing lesson, go to a growing convention. I've never seen a bird go to a flight lesson. I've never seen fish take swimming lessons. I've never seen that, because what it was purposed and created to do, flight was born in the bird. Swim was born in the fish. Fruit was born in the tree. It was created in it. Therefore, it doesn't have to go outside of itself to find it. I've never seen a tree go to another tree and ask for bark. I've never seen a tree go to another tree and ask to borrow limbs. I've never seen that. It was created inside of it. So kings and queens, what I'm telling you this morning is that your future, that you desire innately and intrinsically, that you desire organically, is not ahead of you. It is inside of you. And you have to take the time to invest in that. It's not going to change any other way. It's not going to happen any other way. You ask me how, Drew? What are the how-tos? The how-tos is to go get information on what purpose means, to go download information on how to become better. I came across a post yesterday, Les Brown's post. He said, this has been my secret, for over 30, 40 years. He said, one thing that I noticed, he said, is that we deal with so much negativity in the world every single day. He said that you're constantly being bombarded with so much negativity. He said, and I found out that my secret, to success is to read at least 30 pages a day. And not just 30 pages of any book, he said, but 30 pages of empowering books, of people who have gone on to do the things that I desire to do successfully, of people of power, of people who have been producers, successful producers. He said, I read at least 30 pages a day. And that's what protects him. And that's what causes him to be one of the greatest speakers that we've ever known. So what I'm saying to you today, kings and queens, is that the seeds of greatness that are inside of you, because it said a seed of a thing is inside of itself. Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 11. It said that the seed of a thing is inside of itself. So what I'm saying to you is that in order to wake up those seeds of greatness inside of you, in order to cultivate those seeds inside of you, you must begin to pour water in. Water is the truth. Water is information. Water is knowledge. And when you understand that, it's called light for a reason. Revelation truth, light for a reason. Why? Because just like the light, the sun that naturally gives off gamma rays to create the photosynthesis process, that same light, which is called knowledge, which is called information, is needed and necessary to start the photosynthesis process that's inside of you, kings and queens. I'm telling you, man, I'm not making this up. This stuff has changed my life forever. I was just talking to the Most High on my way here, right? And I was just thanking him this morning because I was just so elated and so happy that he won't allow me to do the things that I used to do. I tried it. I tried to do the things that I was used to doing. And because I have so much new information inside of me, I felt convicted. You know what I mean? I felt like I know that that's not it anymore. I felt unfulfilled. I felt unsatisfied. So what I'm saying to you this morning, kings and queens, is that the information that exists in the atmosphere, that exists in the world, that you can find in many books, from Think and Grow Rich to the basic instruction before leaving Earth, which is the Bible, you know what I mean? Or Master Key System, you know, or Destiny, or Instinct by Bishop Jake, or The Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe, or Maximizing Your Potential by Dr. Miles Monroe, or The Purpose and Power of Authority by Dr. Miles. I'm telling you, that information has changed my life significantly forever, because I recognized and I realized that I was always taught to go outside of myself to find something that will cause me to become better. But in all actuality, the better was in me. It was underdeveloped. It was still in the seed form. But I knew that inside of me I needed to produce trees that produce fruit. He said that you would know them by their fruit, not by their roots, not by their bark, not by their limbs, but by their fruit. Because you were created to produce fruit. He said, you didn't choose me, for I have chose you and have ordained you. I have ordained you to produce fruit. That's what you have to recognize and understand, kings and queens, this morning, is that you were ordained, you were created, you were commanded, you were demanded to produce fruit. And the only way that you can produce fruit is if you cultivate the seeds of greatness that's inside of you. The only way that you can cultivate those seeds is by studying information that speaks life to it. He said, the words that I speak to you are spirit, and they are of life. Words. The words are in these books. Stop saying that you're not a reader. That's a lie. You were created from word itself. You are a reader. Readers are leaders. Leaders are readers, however you want to put it. So you can't keep saying that to yourself, because it's a lie. Your future kings and queens, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not ahead of you. It's inside of you. The Most High was so smart. He was so strategic. He was so creative. He knew that you would go outside of yourself to try to find it. He knew that you would go outside of yourself to try to discover it. He knew that you would go outside of yourself looking for it and searching for it and seeking after it. Why? Because it's inherent. It's organic for you to want to know who you are and why you're here. It's organic for you to want to become great. He said to anyone, to everyone who wants to be great, let him understand that he must serve. He already knew it, that it was already in you to be great. You were born out of the cup of greatness, created out of the eminence of greatness. That's what you are. But he knew that why would I put that in somebody else's hands? Why would I put that in somebody else when I can put it directly in you? And if I put it in you, you can never lose it. If I put it in you, you can never say that you didn't have the opportunity to discover it. It's right there inside of you. And once you start looking in, that's what people call soul searching. Once you start looking within, you'll find so many gifts, so much power, so much authority, so much influence, so much greatness right inside of you. And the only way that you cultivate that is through studying. You have to learn how to be great. You have to learn, read the information. It won't hurt you. It won't harm you to become a reader, to become an avid reader. You say, well, Drew, I have so much going on in my life. This is what my big cousin Solomon hit me with, right? This is why it's so dope. That's why I said you have to read, because once you read it, it'll give you the information that your excuses can't last. He says, sow your seed in the morning. He said, and in the evening, let your hands not be idle. Let me say that again. He said, go to work in the morning. He said, but in the evening, work on your real work. Let me say that one more time. He said, go to the job in the morning. He said, but in the evening, work on your purpose. He said, for you do not know which one may prosper. He said, it may be one or it may be the other, or it may be both. You got that much greatness in you. Oh, man, I get so excited when I talk about this stuff, man. Y'all can see it, y'all can feel it, and y'all can hear it. Because I know that inside of you is so much greatness. It's so much greatness. I'm telling you. Y'all see all of the things that's going on in the earth that you have a problem with? Well, the Creator, the Most High, knew that, and he sent you here in this lifetime, in this generation, because he knew what was inside of you was the answer to that problem. What was inside of you was the solution to that problem. You got that inside of you. But it starts with you sitting down to discover it. And every discovery, 98% of discoveries have come from people sitting down in that place and looking and searching for it. And the law tells us and reminds us, to everyone who seek shall find. Stop searching outside of yourself. Stop looking at a job or a career for your future. Stop looking at a financial status for your future. Stop looking at a man and a woman, relying on them for your future. Stop looking at a company for your future. Your future is not ahead of you. It's inside of you. Thank you, kings and queens, for tuning in. I appreciate everybody who shared. You know, we need these type of messages to circulate and go viral, you know, so that we can recognize the truth, the power, and authority that's inside of us, so that we can become better. Once you become better, like I said earlier, the plant was designed and purposed to receive carbon dioxide and to emit oxygen. The human was created to receive oxygen and then give off carbon dioxide for the plant. This thing is called a relationship. Your purpose is necessary for us, and my purpose is necessary for you. That's why I will not stop giving it. This is a magnificent Monday. You go ahead and have the greatest day of your life today. I love you, kings and queens. I greatly appreciate everybody from the bottom of my heart who has donated to the movement. If you feel led to donate, hit me up in my inbox for further instructions. I love you guys. God bless.